Alrighty, can everybody hear me now? Please type in chat if you can. Alrighty, sorry about that. So let's go over this. So I'm Mark Tittle stepping in for Mr. Crandall today. He is actually out. One thing I wanted to go over with you, this is probably the hottest topic that still comes up to this very day, even after all the videos and information we put out, is do business credit cards affect the personal credit? And we're going to go over ways to make sure that they don't. A couple things I wanted to review. If you need to jet out or leave early, take down our number or our email. That way you can reach out to us. We'd love to talk with you further. It's 877-600-2487 or email us at info@creditsuite.com. And one more thing that I wanted to review with you, if you're in the market for business funding and you want to have different ways of obtaining it without your traditional banking, next week we're going to be hosting what we call Funding 30 Challenge and bringing in some of the top business lenders. You know, they're the experts at their craft. It's going to be a live event the 19th to the 23rd. You can sign up for it at funding30challenge.com. That's funding30challenge.com. We'll put that here in the chat. That way you can go there, see all the details, and check it out. Make sure to get signed up for that, especially if you're in the market for funding or you know somebody that does. So let's dive into the business credit card world. So I know last time Ty covered with you cash flow management with the help of business credit, the difference between profit and cash flow, the cash available on business credit cards, how to build a fundable foundation to get the business credit cards you need, all without impacting your personal credit. So today we're going to go over the business credit cards and how that affects you personally. So this is still a very hot topic because everybody is different. A lot of these credit cards like to trick you. So we're going to review that. So they can, in fact, most of them will affect your personal credit. The good news is they don't have to. And there are steps you can take to make sure that they don't. So the key is building up your business credit score. That's the most obvious one. If you ever go for EIN only cards that you don't want to affect your personal credit, if you don't have the built up business credit, they're obviously not going to qualify you, or they're going to come back and ask you for the personal credit anyway to get approved. So you have to make sure you're choosing the right cards. Most high limit business credit cards report to the consumer credit. Many will report to both the personal credit and the business credit. I know that says consumer credit, but it's personal and business. So a lot of your options will report to both. However, there are some business credit cards that will not report payment history on personal credit reports. So that's also important to know, that you could get a business credit card that won't show up month to month on the personal account, even though you're using your personal credit. So there are some, though, that will report negative payment information, but will not report anything if the account is in good standing. So hear me out. There's a way, or there's different credit cards out there that will not report anything to the business credit bureaus, even though it's a business credit card. And this catches a lot of people up. I can't tell you how many people we talk to day to day that are under the impression that they have built up credit due to the amount of cards that they have in the business name. But when we pull their credit report, there's nothing there, or there's very minimal there. So that is very important to know what you're choosing and why you're choosing it as far as business credit cards. So the big thing, why does it matter? You know that if your account is not in good standing, it could do tremendous damage to your personal credit. But even if the account is in good standing, it's possible that it still may damage the personal credit. And you might ask why. So basically, the obvious answer is the debt to credit or debt to income ratio. So if you're a business and you have that credit card and you're using it, sometimes we max those out. That could damage your personal credit because of the way it's reported. So obviously that's how much debt you have relative to how much credit you have available on that account. So a high debt to credit ratio can negatively impact your credit score. Not so important on the business credit side. So I think you'll see the advantage if you go with a card that only reports to the business credit, not the personal. So this is further complicated by the fact that many business credit cards stay at or near their limit. Obviously, you're a business owner, you're going to use the account as you need it, but that's the disadvantage, is you might have to max those out. and it's going to damage your credit score on the personal side if you're having it reported or they're reporting it to that. Even, and this is big, even if you make regular payments. That's the frustrating part. So this is a function of the fact that the business expenses are typically much higher than personal expenses. So the big thing Ty always talks to you guys about is personal credit's not designed to run a business. This is one of the many examples on how that affects you. So if those accounts are on your personal report, it can drop that score, even if it's current on payments. So the question is, how do you make sure business credit cards do not affect your personal credit? So two key parts on this. First, if you're getting business credit cards with a personal guarantee, you have to make sure they will not report to your personal credit. That's a question I would ask up front is, do they report to the personal side? So yes, there's cards out there that you can get quickly by using your personal credit. Just verify that they will not report to the personal credit report. So there are a handful, just make sure you ask for that. There is still a personal credit check. So just keep in mind, if you're going to personally guarantee it, you're leveraging your personal credit for it, they're still going to hit that personal credit for it, but they will not report the accounts to the credit bureaus personally. So just verify that ahead of time. So a few examples, you might ask, where do I go? How do I get these cards? If you have bad personal credit, there's a Wells Fargo business secured credit card that would work for you. So their credit score is as low as a 580 as it stands right now. Of course, that can always change. So verify that when you're reaching out to them. You do have to at least make a $500 deposit. So that's the thing, is you will be able to put that deposit down up front, but they're going to activate that card for you. But they're not going to report to the personal credit agencies, and they do report to Duns & Bradstreet. So even though they require a deposit, they're going to report that. That's going to be a trade line on your D&B credit report. So more about that card. This means it can help you build business credit, even with bad personal credit. They also report to the Small Business Finance Exchange, which will supply the information to lenders, vendors, credit agencies. So that is another tool that they'll look at to see what the worthiness of the business is on the credit side. They will review your account periodically. So obviously, if you need more money to spend, things like that, they'll move it into an unsecured account if you're eligible. So that's based on the factors, numerous factors, including the FICO. Some more card examples. If you have a good credit, you can even you have even more options, obviously, for credit cards that will not report to the personal credit. A few that include Citi Business, Advantage Platinum, Select World MasterCard, Costco Anywhere Visa Business Card. You have to be a Costco member, and you do have to go in for that, but that's another hot example on what you could get with using the personal credit. Wells Fargo Business Platinum Credit Card. And remember, even though these cards do not affect your personal credit score, they do require a personal guarantee, and they will do a personal credit check. So just keep that. They're going to hit that hard inquiry up front, but this is a quick way to get those business cards that won't affect your monthly reporting on the personal side month after month. So max those cards out for the business if you need to. They're not going to report that and drive down your personal credit score. So business credit cards that will not affect personal credit scores without a personal guarantee. So using a personal guarantee to begin building your credit profile is fine if that is what you have to do. The goal, however, is to get as much as you can without personal guarantee. But we always ask, is that even possible? That's the number one question. The answer is yes. If you build a separate credit profile for the business, that's obviously everything that we talk and we teach on, is in building that up. So that way, that's the end goal, is not always having to use your personal credit. So in fact, you need to lay the groundwork for that before you apply for the cards that we've already mentioned. This is because they cannot report to your business credit profile if there's not one to report to. So you can go out and get the cards ahead of time, but if you don't have all the foundations set up and the active profiles for the business, it's not going to do you any good because they won't show up on that D&B. So establish a business credit profile. A business credit profile does not build the same way personal credit profile does. A personal credit profile builds passively. All you have to do is get credit accounts, and they almost all end up on your consumer report. But to build a business credit profile and score, you have to really make sure that you're doing the right things and you're picking the right places to do that with. This means first setting up your business to be fundable. We have tons of videos on this with how to get that done. You need a business name that does not indicate you are in a high-risk industry. You need a physical business address, not a P.O. box or a UPS store. So that will disqualify you. With a lot of fraud happens with people using these different address types for business credit cards. Your business phone number needs to be listed with the 411 National Directory. And I know that sounds like something that is ancient. A lot of the younger generation may not even know what 411 is, but trust me, these lenders, especially for the EIN only accounts, they will look into that. They know that they trust a business that is going to go to great length to list themselves on the 411 National Directory. So you have to have a business bank account. So it's an account set up in the business bank. It really does not matter what bank you choose. That's going to be a personal preference to you. So just make sure that makes sense to what you're doing with the amount of deposits that you have to make, or even the amount of money you have to have into that account at all times. Other than that, it does not matter. And you need an EIN number and a DUNS number. So it's Duns & Bradstreet. You can activate that free number from them going to their website or calling. So to get the EIN number on the IRS website for free and the DUNS number on Duns & Bradstreet, remember those two things are free. You should not pay for either one of those. If you do not have a DUNS number, any account, all the accounts that you do get that would have reported to Duns & Bradstreet will not be able to. So that's important to get that first before you start applying for these accounts or cards. And obviously, they won't be able to find a profile. The EIN number is what you will use when you apply for the business credit instead of your Social Security number. So you may have to provide your SSN for identity purposes. So that's one thing. If you see that on there, usually they will call that out, but it doesn't hurt to ask. And I'll trust me when I say this, a lot of these applications will put both a spot for the EIN and your Social Security number. And usually they're going to put that there because if they can collect both, they're going to lock you into the personal guarantor. That is their main preference. But just keep in mind, some of them will still ask for it to not make you the personal guarantor, but rather verify you are who you say you are. That way somebody isn't out there opening up business accounts with your information or any other business information. But it will not be used for your credit applications. That's the important thing to remember. This is one way to ensure your business credit accounts are not reporting to your personal credit reports. So how to get approved for business credit cards that do not affect personal credit. So once your business is set up in the right way so that you have a business credit profile, you are then ready for accounts to start reporting. But if you start applying to the high limit credit cards using your business credit profile right away, you're more than likely going to get denied. You know, they work in stages. You have to have a certain amount built up in order to approve it. So just like within personal credit, the higher the score, the more things are going to get approved for. The business credit does have a score, and more importantly, they will count up your trade lines that are being reported. So the more that you have, the higher end credit that you can get. So you always want to start with the small starter vendor. So you have to find the accounts that will extend credit to your business without any sort of credit check. So that's going to be the big question, is finding out who they are. So you don't yet have a business credit score and you want to avoid the personal check. So there are vendors out there that will approve you without having any other prior starter vendors or even any other business credit. So these are accounts that will extend net terms and or report your payments to the credit bureaus, but they will approve you based on factors other than the credit score. So this may include time in business, the revenue, average account balance in the bank account, and there's many other factors that they're going to look into. So how you find this, and like I said, this is the hot topic, and this changes, but that's the trick. Those types of vendors are not easy to find. They do not advertise to the world that they're a starter vendor and they're doing EIN only credit options. They do not make it easy to find out whether or not they report payments to the credit bureaus. and business owners need help finding this information. That's exactly what we do here with Credit Suite. We have over 150 options to go through, but here's a few to help you get started. CEO Creative, Uline 76 Fleet Card. So the thing is, you need more accounts than this before you can build a strong credit profile. So sometimes they take over 2 to 3 accounts to really start to generate that credit score for the business. So Business Credit Expert makes this whole process faster and easier. I can't tell you how many people try to do this on their own, and this information changes so quickly that they end up spending more time and money than what is needed. So obviously an expert can help ensure you have your business set up in the right way. They can guide you towards those starter vendor accounts that will help you initially build business credit score. They will also guide as to when you have enough accounts reporting before you start those higher accounts. And that's the big thing. Everybody jumps the gun. They get a little too excited. They start applying a little bit too early. But I can tell you, if you start to get turndowns because you're applying too early, it gets discouraging. And some of these places will put a hold on you applying again for the business for a certain amount of days. So it's just best that you have everything in working order. You follow the path on how to get there in order. And all of this can be done in the right way with your personal credit that is not affected, or without your personal credit, so that's not affected. Our business credit experts can help you find the best accounts to flesh out any business credit profile that you're looking to build up. There is more to this than just building strong business credit with accounts that report. An expert can guide you towards the best vendor accounts, for anything that you would need for your business. And that goes both ways. There's accounts out there that could be EIN only that don't report. There's obviously accounts that do report. So they're all going to be helpful for what you're doing to drive your business. So once you have a strong credit score for your business, you will qualify for more vendor accounts that can help your business. These include vendors that specialize in things your business needs. For example, if you own a music school, you could really use a vendor that sells instruments and supplies for that music school. If you own a restaurant, obviously supplies would be helpful that kind of tie into the restaurant theme. So business credit cards can be used in a few different ways. You can use them to make a purchase from that vendor that you are unable to get an account with, and you could use them to bridge the gap between your vendor account limits and what you actually need. So obviously, what does this look like practically? So to build a strong business credit profile that does not affect your personal credit, here's exactly what you need to do. Using a personal guarantee is a solid way to start if you need to. So that's going to be the quicker way. If you have the personal credit and you don't mind using it, you can start that up front. But at the same time, working on building your business credit score, then you can get more accounts that do not require that personal guarantee. So in the beginning, you will have some cards with personal guarantees and starter vendors. Then as your business credit score grows, you can add more vendors on top. You will need accounts that report to build your score. So this happens. Everybody always thinks I have a couple accounts, I don't have a credit score. That's a bad thing. Well, no, they need more accounts to show up before they're going to start to generate you an actual credit score for the business. But as you need them and as you qualify, and non-reporting accounts also to round out your business credit profile and ensure you always have access to the funding you need. That is the key. So all of this without affecting your business credit. You can also ask non-reporting accounts for trade references. That's another thing as well. So let's go over a recap. So business credit cards can affect your personal credit score, but they don't have to. That's the big thing. And a lot of people get discouraged by that. You have to find the right one. So some cards that require a personal guarantor do not report to the consumer credit. But if you build a solid credit profile, you can qualify for more accounts that do not affect your personal credit. And that's all without the personal guarantee on there. So a business credit expert is essential to that process. If you want more information, obviously reach out to us. We would love to be able to help you. You can call us right now. We have agents on standby if you have further questions and you want to talk to somebody. You can reach us at 600-2487. And then also, once again, if you didn't catch it at the beginning, if you're in the market for funding, you would be foolish for not checking this out next week. So next Friday, or Monday through Friday, we're hosting a funding challenge where we're bringing in some of the top business experts in the funding world, and they're able to help you with any type of funding that you need. They're going to be there live. You can go to funding30challenge.com. Once again, that's funding30challenge.com to sign up for that. Obviously, see more information. And then just I want to tell you a little about what we're going to talk about next time. So the big thing, protecting your personal finances with business credit, and how a true separation of business and personal credit will keep you from having to put your home on the line. That's a big thing. So where and when to use personal guarantees. And that's what is going to be covered next time. So we'd love to have you. Once again, if you want to reach out to us, contact us for more information. We have people on standby. It's 877-600-2487, or you can email in at info@creditsuite.com. And thank you for your time today. We'll see you next time.